Thanks for that. Today we're judging the 2019 AIPP Epson New South Wales ACT Professional Photography Awards in the wedding category, sponsored by Nikon. I've got a lot to read here, so just bear with me while we do this. My name's Jeff. I'll be your panel chair for this session, and Casey is our scribe, and Neil's doing the live streaming stuff on the end. And we've got some print handlers out the back who are going to do a great job for us. So our judges today, our judging panel today consists of Annie Payne in judging seat 1. Welcome to the seat, Annie. Heath Wade's in seat 2. David Stowe is in seat 3. Kelly's in seat 4. And Andre's in seat 5. So we will rotate the judges as we go during the day. So I'll just read you the category preambles for this category. The category is for wedding photography that represents industry practice, including but not limited to creative posing, photojournalism, post-production, storytelling, and image presentation. The wedding category will be judged in 2 sections, wedding open and wedding single capture. The category is judged in 2 sections to assist the judges in their assessment. However, there is only one award. Entries in this category must be commissioned. Entries must be captured during or on the day of the client's actual wedding or civil union. The only exception is to accommodate cultural differences when the wedding runs over consecutive days. Second shooters who have been contracted by the main photographer and or the subjects may enter their images provided they have retained the copyright or usage rights for the images. Second shooters must have the permission of the main photographer to enter the images. Second shooters may not enter an image where the main photographer directed or posed the subjects. Polytips, diptychs, triptychs, etc. are permitted in both sections. In the wedding open category, entrants may utilise all post-production techniques, including multiple image or elements, in producing their entry. If several photographic elements are used, all the elements must have been taken at the same wedding or civil union, with the exception of borders and textures. In the wedding single capture section, this section is intended to reward technical and creative excellence in photographing and presenting an authentic representation of a scene without the benefit of creative compositing techniques. Photojournalistic images may be suited to either single capture section of the wedding category or the documentary category if they conform to the category rules. So there's a lot of stuff to get through. Any questions about all those words? You've done them before, you know what's going on. So please let me know if you have any problems. If you feel you want to step down from a print, let me know. We've got a good array of judges there. I was a little surprised to see that there are many more male judges than female here, but that's the way it is. It used to be the other way around, but things change. Doesn't make it wrong. Okay, so let's make a start then. My apologies, Kelly. It says in front of me. It says wedding open. Okay, that's our first category. Could we have the first print, please? Could we have the first print, please? Thank you. Thank you, judges. The print has a score of 74, print score range 68 to 77. Let's have a quick comment from David. You scored this at 72, if you wouldn't mind, please, for the benefit of the photographer.
Yeah, the couple aren't particularly sharp, and there's a lack of detail, particularly through the bride's face and through the shadows and things.
Okay, thanks for that. Thanks, Nathan. Heath, right to come back? Thanks for doing that. We'll accept that print score of 74 and have the next print, please. Thank you, judges. Print scores 78. Print scoring range of 75 to 82. Thank you for that. Quick comment from Kelly. Thanks.
Just if you have the really graphic, dynamic kind of location, just bring the subject into that graphic, dynamic location. It's just that the stagnicity of the bride is, yes, just too still. And I think in an open category, like looking at those black, there's a lot of potential in this, I think. If the bride was a bit bigger, she's perhaps a bit soft. And lastly, probably paper choice. That was a lot, I'm sorry, but just the sheen back here is quite distracting as well.
That's terrific. Thanks for that. Okay, let's accept that score of 78 and have the next print, please. Okay, thanks for that. We'll just sit here waiting patiently while this gets fixed. So judges, just a warning, just be careful about the cords that are there, please. And we've got the NRMA in now, so we should be right. I have a score that's come through, Kelly, from you. Is that is your pad working? Oh, then you threw it off. Okay. So is it working now or not? Okay. Well, look. Let me let's accept that score of 77. That's what we've got for this particular print. And we'll wait till that fixes. The scoring range is from 72 to 80. So thank you, judges, for that. Is there... Heath, could you make a quick comment on this image for us, please?
I thought it was a solid professional practice image. Perhaps a little bit of a crop, tighter crop, particularly for the top of the image, being a bit lower would work. And often the power in the moment is just before the kiss or after it. So something to think about.
Okay. Thanks for that. I'm sorry it's quite disrupted because of this, but thank you. We've scored it, and I'll accept that. Could we have a grey screen, please? Print handlers, thank you. I just do need to make a quick judge's change, and this is no reflection on your behaviour, Kelly, but could you step down? Could you step down, please? Katie, are you right? So if Katie can come back with us, please. That's all right. Yeah. Yep, okay. Can I just remind you that we're judging the 2019 AIPP Epson New South Wales ACT Professional Photography Awards for the wedding category. We're trying to judge the open section at the moment, but we've got a technical problem and we hope to be back on air shortly. Thanks. Okay, let's get back on course. I think we're right. We're going to test this, and can we have the next print, please? Bit of quiet in the room, thank you. So this is the open section of the wedding category in the 2019 AIPP Epson New South Wales ACT Professional Photography Awards. This category is sponsored by Nikon. Thank you, judges. The print has scored by majority 80, a silver award. The print score average was 79, but by majority 80. Quick comment from Heath, you're on 80.
Yeah, I thought it was a lovely image, nice little bit of juxtaposition with the background as well. And I really enjoyed their expression and just the genuine connection with their eyes and with their hands as well. So, yeah, congratulations to the photographer.
Thanks, Heath. Okay, we'll accept that score and we'll have the next print, please. That print scored 83, a silver award. Annie's scored her at 90, 7 above the announced score. And if you could, if you'd like to challenge that, that's fine. Chris, could you just stay for this discussion, please, since you scored it? Thank you. Just be careful of the cables when you're walking around there.
Yeah, I've given this a gold award. I think that it's really the epitome of modern day wedding photography. It's just got really beautiful composition. I can give it a gold from here, actually. I love it from here. I love all of the composition choices and the elements of where the elbows come across the bottom of the black rectangle in there. It's like it's a created element, even though it's a real element. And then when you go in, the thing I love about it that really took it into gold for me is the emotion and the genuine connection and the emotion and the detail in everything. There's no detail missed in this image. And yeah, this is a perfect modern day wedding image.
Thanks, Annie. Great comments there. David, you're on 78.
Yeah, look, I loved it more from a distance. I loved the overall structure of the image compositionally. I thought it was beautiful. When I went up closer, I found the shadows in the hair just too blocked up, and even through the flowers, and the skin tones just felt really just a little bit murky, and I'd love to have seen them rendered a little bit better, especially to get up to gold. Perhaps being a bit harsh at 78, but yeah, interested to hear others.
Okay, thanks for that. Any other comments before Annie comes back to us? Thanks, Annie. Can you sum up on that for us?
Yeah, I'm a bit, I feel like there's a lack of enthusiasm in here. There's, this is a really amazing, beautiful image to bring an image to us that not only has perfect composition and attention to detail and modern day, like within some sort of cafe or some sort of different venue that we're not used to seeing. It's so far removed from a traditional wedding image, and here we are presented with it. And then on top of all of those elements, we've got beautiful emotion and love and connection. What more do you want in a wedding image? It's all in that one image.
Thanks, Annie. So, judges, this is currently sitting at 83. If you could rescore, please. Annie, your score is staying at 90. Print score is 86. Silver distinction. Thanks, Annie. Katie will step back in now. We'll accept that score and next print, please. Thank you, judges. The printer scored 86, silver with distinction. Thank you. Annie, you've scored this at 92, and you can challenge that score. The other scores you're working with are 88, 77, 88, and 83.
Yeah, this has got so much storytelling going on in this image. I can learn so much about this wedding from this one image, and I really love how the photographers presented that to us. We've got the multi-generational thing going on. We've got the realness of a wedding where you really have got different people with different agendas for the evening, and it tells us all of this within this image. We've got the reflection of the couple and the romance, and then the feel of actually where the wedding is, and all of that, and the tiredness in the kids and the grandpa or whoever, and it's just got beautiful detail and storytelling in this image.
Thanks, Annie. Heath, would you like to comment? You're sitting on 88 with this score here.
Yeah, I loved it too. Beautiful storytelling, like Annie says, and I loved the grandpa or the Uncle Fester-looking dude there, and the way his head was sort of disappearing into his jacket made me really laugh. And then I spied the couple in the background, and the thing that I was almost going to go gold, but the thing that held me back was I could feel the connection from the groom in the background, but the bride just wasn't quite enough emotion there for me. I'd be willing to hear what other people have to say for sure, but yeah, that's what stopped me. Otherwise, fantastic image.
Okay, thanks, Heath. Kelly.
Yeah, I'm on the other end, and I think I have to sort of agree with Heath. It's just they're cardboard cutout, and it's interesting that Annie said you're enjoying the romance of the couple in the background, and they just look like they don't even really belong together. They're sort of connecting but not connecting, I suppose. So that believability for me, it was a bit more of the photographer in this shot rather than the real moment. The real moment is the three of these people for me, and I guess it's tricky lighting situation. Obviously it's at a reception and probably particularly dark, but it's very, very flat. The contrast in it is just really lacking, I suppose. And it's not to take away from anything you said, because I'm on board with that. So if I can get past that, I'm more than happy to sort of go up.
Okay, thanks for that. Annie, you happy to bring it home?
Yeah, I agree that the people in the foreground are the main part of the image, and that's how it is presented to us. It's almost incidental that the couple are there in the background, and it just gives us that final touch of definitely being at the wedding. But it's almost like that doesn't even need to be there to get all of the essence of what is there. And also the humour, like to have the humour in this and all the different emotions within those characters, and the detail of the flower and the suit, and you know, the rustic nature of the venue. There's so much being told in this one image.
Great, thanks for that, Annie. So the print currently sits on 86. If we could rescore judges, please. Thank you, judges. Prints come up to 87, silver with distinction. Thanks, Kelly. We just need to make a couple more in that kerfuffle. There's a few judges we need to move on. So could Annie could stay there. Anna, could you replace Katie, please? Thank you. And Nathan, could you replace David, please? Thank you for those changes. So we'll accept that score and have the next print, please. Thanks, judges. Print scores 75. Print scoring range 73 to 76. Nathan, you could just give us a quick comment on this, please.
Yeah, professional practice. The photographer's seen something great. Even cropping down a little bit could have helped. The dog is looking dramatically off to the side. Maybe a bit more space on that side could have
Thank you.
been
There's
fun
some
too.
other judges agreeing with those comments, so thanks very much. Let's have the next print, please. Thanks, judges. We've got a print score of 84, a silver award. Solid silver there. Thank you. Print score range 79 to 84s, 86 and an 88. Heath, you scored that at 84, which was the average. Can you give us a quick comment, please?
Straight away when it turned around, I love the graphic nature of it with the I don't know what you call it, the white circle there drawing you in and the softness of a veil. But I just found the white circle was really hard. I just thought it would be softened with sort of toned down rather than really bright white might have helped it. And also the posing of the bride, slightly awkward. She sort of stooped and rolled her shoulders a little bit forward, which sort of bothered me a bit when I got up close, but otherwise great creative image.
Okay, thanks for those comments. That's great. Okay, we'll accept that score. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. Print scores 81, a silver award. Andre, you've scored that at 80. Just a quick comment for the photographer, please.
I think it's a wonderful combination of genres. At first, obviously, it looks very much like a landscape until you delve deeper and notice that it is a wedding couple who are quite close and well posed, I believe, in my opinion. So I think it was a great piece of wedding photography to add something.
Thank you, Andre.
New.
Very quickly, Nathan.
Really quickly, since this gets a chance to go to APRA as well, my eye always falls over to that right bright spot there, and either dull it down or add a little kind of silhouette shadow or something to give me a reason to keep resting there would really help.
Thanks for that. Okay. Let's accept that score of 81 and next print, please. Thanks, judges. Print scores 81, a silver award. Some very consistent scoring there, 78 through to 83. Anna, would you like to make a quick comment on that one for us, please?
If you're going to take this to APRA, I would want to do something about the very bright line that's going of the doorway coming straight above the bride's head, which is distracting, and even consider black and white, I think, so it would be more documentary style.
Thanks, Anna. So let's accept that score of 81 and have the next print, please. Thanks, judges. Print scores 79. Good professional practice for 78s and an 81. Which of the 78s would like to make a comment? Thanks, Anna.
The problem here is we've lost the focus on a lot of the people. So we've got middle and bottom middle in focus, and then the focus has gone out, which wouldn't be as much of a problem, but the one at the top that's looking at the camera also, we've got lost the focus a little bit, and I think that it just brings it down.
Okay. Thanks, Anna. That's great. Let's accept that score of 79 and next print, please. Print scores 77, another example of good professional practice. And Andre, a quick comment from you, please, for the benefit of the photographer.
Yes, a very solid piece of professional work there. The choice of colours and the way they run across the image are great. They don't distract at all. I just feel that the boy is getting a little bit lost in the scene. So if there's a way that the photographer could have perhaps worked in a little bit closer, just to make that boy more of the centrepiece of the image, I think that could have been a stronger image.
Thanks, Andre. That's great. Let's accept that score and have the next print, please. Thanks, judges. We've got a print score of 78 for this print here. Print scoring range 76 through to 82. A quick comment from someone who'd like to make a comment? Annie, thanks for that.
Yeah, I enjoyed the extra element of the little boy in this image, actually, that took it away from being more of an obvious image. It added something new.
Okay, thanks for that. Okay, could we have the next print, please? Thank you, judges. The print scores 82, a silver award. Thanks. Anna, could you make a comment on this, please?
I definitely reprint this again. The blacks have blocked up a lot, and also crop it more on the left-hand side. You've got a guy totally disinterested on the left-hand side with a baby, not even looking. We don't need him, and it makes you keep sort of falling out of the frame there. So just watch those blacks, reprint it. There's some fantastic expressions in there.
Okay, lots of nodding judges there, agreeing with you. Thanks for those comments. Let's have the next print, please. Thank you, judges. Print scores 79. Print scoring range 478s and an 81. Very consistent there. Quick comment from Nathan.
Yeah, look,
ready to go.
the whole nature of the structure of this image is just like quite spectacular and an explosion of something, and the bride is reflecting this kind of joy, but the groom's expression just does not match anything else in the picture. He just seems really, really kind of flat and disinterested. So it's really just an expression. The photographer's nailed every other piece of this.
Okay, thanks for that. Okay, let's have the next print, please. Thank you, judges. The print scores by majority 79. So the print scored on average 81, but my majority is 79. There are two challenges to that. I'll accept Anna has scored it at 86. Thanks, Anna.
Yes.
Yes, you're working with 84, 86 and 378s.
Okay, guys. We can get this up from 79. Really, this photograph, it's about Auntie, spotty girl there, who has just come along to the photo shoot with the photographer. We know what this is like. You're trying to get something gorgeous, and some stupid aunt or Uncle Don comes along and says, "Oh, smile for I need to take this photo on my little camera," which is like a piece of crap because I don't trust you. And it's about her, and those guys they're just looking at each other. Nothing can upset them, you know. I mean, like okay, there's a few little things about it, but when it really comes down to it, it's the emotion of this. They're so in love, they don't care. They're just saying, "Oh, Auntie, never mind," you know. It's about her. They're just extras. It's all about her. You look at her and what she's doing, and how many times you've been in this position, and how many times you want to hit her over the head. But the lighting on her is beautiful. It's please, we've got to get this up into silver.
Thanks, Anna. Nathan, you're on 78.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about the few little things so that we as a team can get this up to where it should belong, because those little things need to be fixed at least before it goes to, other awards, in my opinion. So we've got a glowing groom's hand in that little kind of crotch area. That is really taking all my attention. Whenever I go to that couple, we've just got this glowing hand, and that can just be tweaked down. We've got blown out highlights, which can be embraced by the noir feel, but it still is a little bit distracting for me. The Nana is beautifully lit, but we're in the open category. We can give her complete separation. We can fill in a bit more blacks around that background really easily, and that would make it so much stronger. So I gave it a 78, and I'm definitely listening because I want to give this what it deserves, but it just frustrated me a bit because it's so clever, and I just wanted to be finished.
Thank you. Annie, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I gave it an 84. I looked beyond, like that was the first feeling I saw, is like, oh yeah, there's always an annoying Nana, that's really kind of funny. But I also see beyond that, the next level of that, where you've got really some really genuine expressions in the bride and groom there, and you've got her cute little self, and as Anna said, like her lighting and details about her are quite exquisite, her old shoes, and so then I see this other storytelling element to it where you've got the generational gap, and you've got some really tricky choices by the photographer, which does make the technical side of it really difficult. But I think that has been handled relatively well, given the type of image it is and all of the other elements that are coming with that.
Thanks for that, Annie. Anna, can you sum this up for us, please?
Everything, Nathan, that you said is right. And it needs to be reprinted. The blacks are blocked up, especially in his crotch area, but the hand is really bright. Yes, there are some problems. So technically, that can be fixed. But the capture itself, I'm happy with the detail in the auntie with the little polka dot dress. I love her polka dot dress. I don't need detail in everything, but I do need the print to be better. But that's why it's going to get a silver, not anything more than a silver, please.
Okay, judges, let's score it. Sits on a majority 79 at the moment. Anna's score is 86 and stays there. Thank you, judges. Good work. It's come up to 82. Good silver award. Thank you, judges. We'll have the next print, please. Thanks, judges. We've got a print here, score 77 in the good professional practice range. Thank you for that. Comments from Nathan, thank you.
Yeah, there's so much joy in this. This is a professional practice photographer shooting a professional practice shot and nailing the joy. For this particular image, we may as well just crop in a whole lot more. Get rid of the glowing dress, the frames on the outside, and just get that expression in the puppies, and then pull down the highlights a little bit. There's a great shot in there.
Thanks, Nathan. That's great. Can we have the next print, please? Thanks, judges. We've got a print score of 81 here, a silver award. Print scoring range is from 78 to 86, and Anna's on 86, and she's challenged it. We'll accept that challenge.
Look, I'm going to be quick, but I think we can do a little bit better than 81. I'd like to see it get a more solid silver. And I know what you're going to say is you can't see their faces, you know, and you want to see their faces. But the body language, you know exactly what they're feeling. You don't need a cringy up face with running mascara to know. The body language is absolutely like, you know, everything you used to know without their faces there. And then you have a look at, they're running through this mud. She's got mud all over these 50 layers of dresses. Even on her shoe, you've got the something blue little bow. You've got this lovely thing you get with the storm when there's sun shining in some places. You've got the light in the background and then the glow of the sun on the doors of the shed. It's a perfect rainbow. I know that we're not all like, rainbow, another sunset. But, you know, really, it's a really, really good one. And that the expressions in their body and just I feel like I'm there. I can feel it. I feel like they're laughing and crying and there's so much emotion going on. It's just such a classic shot.
Thanks for that, Anna. Can I have a comment from Nathan? You're happy to...
Oh, absolutely.
You've scored this at 78,
I
the
gave
lower end of the range.
I gave it a 78, and I am curmudgeoning on the technicals on these shots, because this particular shot, because it has so much potential, and the photographer's done all the work of capturing this really great shot, and then we need to straighten up the lines. We've got this kind of pulling in, this distortion that can easily be fixed, and we've got this horizon line that it appears to not be straight, whether or not it is or not. We've got this kind of leaning shape, and it's just these little things which really frustrate me. We're on 81. For it to be silver distinction, I would like these lines to be straight. I would like us to not fall out of the side of the image through that grass patch, just these little things. So I hope the photographer hears me, that I'm really passionate about the story in this image. I think they did nail all of those little bits, and I won't stay on 78. I'm sorry for that, but silver distinction, I think some of those lines need to be straight.
Any other comments from other judges? Thank you. Anna, can you just sum that up for me, please?
It's okay if it gets an 83 or an 84. I'll survive that. That's okay. I just really think with all this work, you know, I see passing sometimes when it's just so beautifully captured. And, you know, there's great detail in the whites, in the dress and everything. And maybe it's slightly skew if to get the whole rainbow in. Maybe it's not. You know, you've got mountains in the background, you can't quite tell. So if we could just, you know, punch it up a little bit there and let this person know that they've really got something going here and they didn't just scrape in, I'd be a happy person.
Right, judges, let's see how we go. Sits on 81 at the moment. Thank you, judges. Sits on 83, a solid silver award. Can we have a blank screen, please? Thank you. Judges, that was the end of the open wedding section. So we're going to move on to single capture now. Naran's going to be panel chair for a little while. I'll leave you in his capable hands. What were you going to say?
Hello, judges. Hello, room number 2. This is Nuran Zorlu speaking. Am I? All right. You should change your glasses. Looking forward for great judging. Next print, please. You're excited to see me again. Thank you. Thank you. How are you? Good, good, good. You from my city? This print scores 78. Nathan, can I have a quick comment from you, please? You're just in the 78.
Yeah, sure.
range.
It's just a little bit too crunchy. The highlights too far down, shadows pushed too far up. Like, it doesn't have to be so intensely kind of sharp and crispy around those edges. It takes away some of that reality. And if there's any more bride and groom in that picture, I'd love to see just a little bit more of those. Otherwise, I really enjoyed this image.
Thank you. I mean, it's 78 is professional standards, and auto should be happy as well. Next print, please. This print scores 79. And I would like to have a comment from Andrew, please.
It's a lovely soft portrait of the bride. To me, it's very 50s inspired. It's incredibly sharp, especially the dress that blew me away. Very solid, professional standard. Well done to the author.
Yeah. Thank you. In the normal cases, in the state award, we're not going to rejudge this image, but like in the national, it's go to next room to reconsider it again for silver. Thank you. Next print, please. This print scores 81, silver award. Heath, can I have a quick comment from you, please?
Yeah, I scored this silver award. I really enjoyed the concept of this and well executed. Perhaps paper choice, so you could experiment with some more art style papers that might lift it a little bit, and just sort of the symmetry of the silhouette of the bride is just a tiny bit off. But yeah, that helped me back a little bit from going higher.
Thank you. And next print, please. Currently, we're room number 2, and we're judging wedding category. And this category is sponsored by our good friends Nikon. And don't forget to support our sponsors. This print scores 79. Yeah, I can see that one hand going up. Nathan, you're an 84.
Yeah.
And the rest of the judges in the high 70s.
Yeah, well, let's
talk to the print, please.
Thank you. Let's talk about this. I gave it 84 to give it the best chance of getting into the silver category. Look, what we're seeing is a beautiful freedom capture of a little girl at a wedding. We've seen it, I get that. But this particular perspective, just for me, I see a warmth and a joyful innocence about a little girl at a wedding, and also this kind of conductor role of her relation to the rest of the orchestra, which has a little pouty power in her as well. So I felt like this was a really well seen moment from the photographer on a dance floor that is nice and empty, and it really it resonated with me. But I'd love to hear from everyone else, since I'm the only one up here.
I'm sure you'd like to hear from Anna. Anna is in the other end of the scale, 76.
There is so much to like about this. It's really well printed. It's got the joie de vivre. Is that how you say it? Joie de vivre. Joy of love. I don't know. I'm not French, but it sounds good, doesn't it? I like that element you're saying that she's a conductor and conductress or whatever. That is a lovely way of seeing it. I'd like to hear other people. I'm open.
Okay, I would like to hear from Annie. Annie, you're in 79.
Yes, I am swayed by Nathan's poetry. I do like that description. I guess the first thing I noticed was that her foot was missing. I know that's part of the dancing, but that is immediately what I saw. And also her skin colouring. I know it's not easy lighting, but the skin tones, and she blends a bit into the background with the colours. So, you know, that's why I sat on the fence at 79, but I'm listening to Nathan's poetry.
Any other judges like to make a comment?
I love the colour palette when it turned around and the depth of the image. I also loved Nathan's conductor comment. But I kind of wanted a little bit more, something else to take it into the award range, some more sort of emotional connection. Because I can't see her face, I've got to rely on her body language. And I was checking out the musicians, and I was saying, oh, I hope one of them's like looking at her and there's some sort of interaction there. But because that was the missing link, I guess, that kind of held me back from going way higher.
Who knows, maybe Nathan will charm you with a more poetic sort of comments. Nathan, you have right to reply.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, we really shouldn't charm a print. I mean, I don't want to charm you. If 4 of you are under 80, that might be a good reason for it. But I do want to give a strong opinion that I do think that it is above the line for me. And the missing foot gives a really authentic sense of awkwardness. Like, she's almost falling over, so her flailing little arms are just thrown back, and she's just keeping her feet on that. And I really appreciate that from her. Skin tones match the warmth. Could be too warm, but it makes me feel warm. And if it's an outdoor event that could be cold, then that works for me. The body language of the background people I am enjoying, because I can see the concentration in their craft, and then the one on the left who is laughing a little bit, and I don't know why she's laughing, but that she could have stolen a look at the girl. So there's a lot in there, and I'm going to stay up on my score.
Thank you. Your score 84 stays as it is, and the rest of the judges, can you re-enter your new scores, please? Now, this print scores 81, silver award. It's a beautiful judging. Thank you, judges. Next print, please. This print scores 79. And I would like to have one quick comment from Andrew, please.
Yes, it's that lovely awkward first dance for every couple. So I was quite forgiving when it came to the posing, as it were, or the body language. I would say to the photographer, perhaps consider cropping off a little bit of the left-hand side so that we have a bit more symmetry in the image. And that ray of light that's coming through, interrupting the kiss, if we could tone that down, I think it would be a more striking image. And skin tones, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And next print, please. This print scores 75. And quick comment from Anna, please. Quick one, what do you think can be improved?
We need something more. I mean, forgetting about printing and all that sort of stuff, we need something more than just the sun between their face. We need some wind in the dress, or some emotion, or something that's, you know, it's very sort of staged and still, and there's no sort of movement and joy in it, and that's what I'd like to see.
Thank you. Next print, please. This print scores 74. And just quick comment from Nathan, please.
Yeah, well, the photographer has seen a great emotion, but this is professional practice. The posing is a bit tricky. The hand on the wrist feels a bit rough. It feels a little bit not sharp all over. Highlights around the sides. It's a great laugh.
Thank you. And next print, please. And this print scores 78. Just Andrew, can I have a comment from you, please?
It's a beautifully crisp and sharply printed image. That really struck me. I think the biggest drawback is the lack of symmetry. It's trying to get there, but it's not quite there. The lantern in the centre, the angle at which we see the walls move off into the distance, and even the crop on the left versus on the right. So just the asymmetry was just what's holding it back.
Thank you. I'm sure the photographer will appreciate your comments. We're accepting this one. And next print, please. And this print scores 81, silver award. Any like to have a comment from you, please? And after that one, I'm going to swap with another judge.
And I also liked the graphic quality of the lip at the bottom mirroring the shape at the top as well.
Thank you. And I would like to quick judge change. Any for Kelly, please? Kelly, welcome. And I accept this score. Next sprint, please. Mhm. Okay. This sprint scores 82, silver award. And Kelly, may I have a quick comment from you?
Yes, thanks. To probably get this into silver distinction or even beyond, maybe. Just consider the cropping, I suppose. It's just that sort of, it's really bottom heavy, and that darkness, I suppose, it's not quite leading me up into that moment. And even if that is, and if that is done, and maybe the couple can be a bit bigger, that might help.
Thank you. Thank you. And next sprint, please. This sprint scores 76. And quick comment from Aries, please.
It's a nice group shot. Maybe just turn all the groundsmates looking into the ground, that so leading all the attention to the ground, that will make the image stronger.
Thank you. Lots of judges agree with you. And keep this score. And next sprint, please. We currently judging wedding category, but this is a single capture section of the wedding category. And how is everyone in the room? Everyone happy? Oh my God. Sorry, everyone is too happy. David is extra happy. And this sprint scores 81, silver award. And before we go further, I think we have a little bit challenge in here from Nathan. It's in 87. Talk to the print, please.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's a tricky one. Normally I'd tear apart a pose when I know that a wedding photographer can pose something and make it more delicate or more shapely. And yet this particular pose feels really real. Like these guys are into each other and it actually works. And I'm starting to appreciate these diagonal lines that their arms are making, reflecting in the little glass piece up the top. And there's a lot of symmetry and a lot going on, and it still feels a little bit documentary, a little bit fly on the wall because of our gentleman playing a piano. Congratulations on the glass up the top. There's a lot of pieces, a lot of structure, and they all fall in together really well. And I pushed it into silver distinction. I'd love to have some conversation about this.
And I'm sure you will. I have Kelly on 78.
Man, it's hard not to agree with you sometimes, but I'm really familiar with where this is. I'm very familiar with the same piano guy that's been there for 30 years, and he's top bloke for us wedding photographers in Canberra. But it's just, perhaps it was shot at night. I'm suspecting it might be, because I think there's just camera shake going on. There's so many challenges with the couple technically, and even the symmetry and the orientation, everything I'm really digging, but you know, the piano guy's just not even close to being sharp at all. And granted, it's a tough situation to photograph. They've seen it really well. I do agree that the pose, it feels very real and very natural, but just that big sort of arm across, I suppose, is still an awkward thing about it, I suppose, but just the technical parts, and especially going in on them, it's just very grey, I suppose. So I can't look past that.
Aries, you're in 81. You're in the average score.
Yeah, I quite like the graphic nature of this image. So if the couple's pose looks a bit awkward to me, I have to agree with this. If you have a piano going on there, wouldn't you say that a dancing pose will be more believable? Even that pose at the moment looks real. Her arm, I have to agree with Tani, Kitty.
I'll take Tani.
To me, I'm sorry.
We have two judges, Kelly and Tani.
The groom's left hand pointing right towards the camera just looks marvelous, and it takes the moment away. And the little frame in the background cutting through the bride's head, that also is destructive. If the photographer's here, if you can ever have a chance to shoot again, just pay this attention to those little details. Will definitely make this image way stronger.
Nathan, you have right to reply back.
Yeah, great. That's some really good discussion. I hope the photographer can take all of that on board. And clearly a guy from Perth hasn't seen this venue, so it's with fresh eyes, and it was quite refreshing. And so I think that we'll score this appropriately. And I don't need to say any more. Thank you.
Your score 87 remains, Nathan, and the rest of the judges, can you please re-enter your new scores? And this print scores 81. Again, this hasn't changed, but you practice your debating skills. Thank you. Next print, please. This print scores 75. And challenge. Okay, thank you. And you can challenge. And but for some reason, but this I can accept it because of this one is probably this. Okay, I'm accepting the challenge, Anna, and thing? Doesn't come. It's all right.
Pose is, I just
Comes at
love the way she's leaning in. It's so real. Like, it's so real. It's not a pose. She's leaning into him. He's leaning into her. The wind's blowing. The veil's in the perfect position. And it's not like it could have been put in later. It just is. It's just a moment captured that is lovely. And I can see you thinking, well, it's professional practice. But it's, you know, that the absolute passion that they have for each other is really, really obvious there.
Kelly, can I hear from you, please?
I'm struggling to see a lot of what you said, Anna, respectfully. The passion, I think, is just, it's a gesture in their smile. There's no passion it's passion in a veil, which I love the movement, and I think for an amazing location, I would have loved the photographer to have moved a bit to the left, get rid of that background with that sort of hill coming across, because the image is happening over in the right-hand side. If we want to talk technically, again, this is a print competition. The print is really, really not at a professional standard. There's a big black hole sort of in pretty much the most of his suit, and just the colour saturation is so grating, I suppose, that it's not sort of fitting with the environment and the posing, I suppose. Yeah, I'm really, really struggling. Sorry.
Nathan?
Very quickly. Everything in this image says horizontal lines blowing to the right, clouds flying off to the left, horizons running forever. And it could be even just in terms of a crop, a wide, longer kind of crop could probably feel a bit more of a flow too. But Aries.
Aries.
So to me, I agree with what Anna says. Her body says yes. However, her hand is, grabbing the bouquet. It's just too straight, and there's a horizon cutting through their heads, and the groom. It's hard to feel it's a real moment because they're almost nose to nose. Rather than imagine a guy would kiss a girl, would he just tilt his head a bit in order to get the kiss? So I would say the bride's in it and the groom's not into it. And I also agree with what Katie says. I think the couple would love the image, however, it's not going to be a wide range.
Anna, you have a right to reply.
Am I on? Yeah. I think we're all right. I think that, there are definite things that are a problem here, but and it would look great as a landscape image. And I can see where everyone's coming from, and I have great respect for what you say, but to me, when I go up there, I feel like saying to them, go get a room, like now. So I'm really, there's just something about it. So, maybe, it's just... But thanks, guys. It was a nice chat.
Okay, can you re-enter your scores? Anna, do you mind punching 83 again, please? And Prince scores 75, remaining 75. Thank you, and next print, please.
Thanks, judges. Print scores 71. We'll accept that score. Comment from...
It's a quite a challenging situation to shoot at backlit. maybe just move the couple of inches to the left, so their head will be framed in the negative space. Also, they can sort of block the highlights, which is hurting the image.
Okay, thanks for that. That's great. So we'll accept that score of 71. And next print, please. Thank you, judges. The printer scored 71. Nathan, you're on 70. Perhaps a quick comment from you.
Yeah, sure. This is regular wedding work, really. We've set up the group to walk towards us and shot it. I think the photographer is seeing this shadow play, but with all of the harsh light and the grass, the image will be stronger if it's cropped right into just shoulders and the explosion of red behind them. And even then, we're just looking at professional practice, and then skin tones need to be worked out. But the laugh and the pose seem real, so it's a strong, just personal shot.
Thanks for those comments. That's great. We'll accept that score. Just before we have the next print up, I just did hear outside, well, I confirmed outside, we have to be out of here by 7:30 tonight, which is really rather disappointing. I don't want you to compromise the scoring that's going on. If we can, we've got 21 prints left, something like that, which we can do in an hour and a half. I don't want to compromise, but I don't want any time wasted, thanks. So we just need to get... Oh, it's all over. Yes. That's the deal, okay? And we're running late for a few reasons beyond our control, but let's just get on with that. So I just ask you to bear that in mind when you're making comments and so on. Thank you. Let's have the next print, please. There we go. Should be able to score that now. Thank you. Print scores 75. Aries, can you give me a quick comment on that, please?
It's a nice and funky bridal party shots. Just get the bridesmaids at the left looking to the bride rather than competing with the bride. Maybe crop off the highlights on the left as well.
Thanks for that. We'll accept that score. Kelly, can you step down, please? Robin needs you for... Katie, are you right to come and sit in here? Judge number 1, please. Nathan, can I just take you out? David, can you come and sit in? Can you change places with Nathan, please? We'll just complete that in there. That's okay. All right, let's go from there. That's good with those judge changes. Thank you. Can we have the next print, please? Thank you, judges. Print scores 73. Anna, a quick comment from you, please.
Yes, there's some really problems with the skin tones that have gone very red, so I think that needs to be controlled a little better.
Thanks for that. Can we have the next print, please? I think we're just waiting for your score. Andre, when you're ready. Thanks for that. Print scores 77. Good professional practice. Print scoring range is 78, 73, 73, 80, 83 and 78. Thanks, Anna. We'll accept that score of 77.
Please, there's a beautiful expression. Print this again. Use different stock too would be great, I think.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We'll accept that score. Next print, please. Chris, could you just step in for David on this one, please? That Chris, yeah, thank you. Pretty close. It's good, it's good. Thanks, judges. Print scores 77. Quick comment from Aries. Thanks.
Maybe her left. It's a beautiful image. I love the way the highlights, the window is framing her, framing the subject. Maybe just slightly change her left hand pose that will match with the delicate pose of the right hand. That'd be great.
Yeah, I can see that. Thank you. Thanks, judges. We'll accept that score of 77. Next print, please. Thanks, Chris, for that. Thanks, judges. Print scores 75. David, a quick comment from you, please, for the photographer.
One of the things I found probably let me down with was the expression. It looked almost like she was about to tell the groom that, you know, she'd just run off with the best man. He just has this really sort of furrowed brow expression, which I didn't think was very romantic.
Okay. Thanks, David. That's great. Let's accept that score of 75 and have the next print, please. Next. Thank you, judges. The printer scored 72. Andre, you've scored this at 75. Can you give us a quick comment, please?
You've turned me on now? Nice. The groom is rather bright, and so my eye is constantly going back to him, even though the bride is clearly supposed to be the focus of the image, no pun intended. So my eyes are constantly darting left and right. So it's that if the photographer can address that, I think they'd have a much better print.
Okay, thanks for that. That's great. Can we have the next print, please? While the judges are thinking about their scores here, can I just remind you we're now judging the 2019 AIPP Epson New South Wales ACT Professional Photography Awards. This is the wedding category, single capture, and this category is sponsored by Nikon. And this particular print the judges have just scored, and we have a score of 78 for this print. Thank you, judges. Print scoring range of 76 to 82. And a quick comment from Katie on 78, which is the average. Thanks.
Yeah, there's a beautiful moment captured here. I think possibly the groom's a little lost in this moment, and it's a bit more about the bride, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think a bit of it is the mishandling of the light. There's a lot of light going on, and it just doesn't quite have the control that it should have.
Thanks, Katie. We'll just have a quick judge change before we bring the next print up. Andre, could you step down, please? You've been there for a while. And Chris, could you come and join us on the panel, please? Thanks for that. Could we have the next print, please? Thank you, judges. We've got a print score here of 78 for this image. Good professional practice. Chris, you scored this at 78. Could you give us a comment for the photographer, please?
Yeah, look, there's a lot going on. My concern is the technique used here, this sort of HDR effect. It works fine for the couple in focus, but as soon as people are out of focus, it becomes like a caricature effect almost, and it doesn't do any favors.
Okay, thanks for that. That's great. Could we have the next print, please? Thank you, judges. The print has scored 76. A quick comment from Anna, please, at 74.
The print is professional practice, something that we need to do every day. I feel that it's a bit flat, could do with some more contrast, and the pose also, his nose is a bit squished into his face. There's a few little things that just, expression-wise, don't bring it up.
Okay, thanks, Anna. We'll accept that print score of 76 and have the next print, please. Thank you, judges. The print is scored 73. Aris, can you give us a quick comment there, please, for the photographer?
Great location has so much potential, and the subject is very sharp. Congrats to that. If the grooms place his hand over her, that will, and bend his right knee towards her, that will shift the energy towards her and make the moment more believable.
Thank you for that. We'll accept that score of 73 and have the next print, please. Thanks, Chris, for that last score. Print score's 71. And Anna, you're on 70. Just a quick comment from you for the benefit of the photographer, please.
With wedding, you do want to see some sort of connect between the two people. And here, they're sitting together, and she's sitting on his knee, but they don't look happy with each other. There's no connection in my mind between the two of them.
Okay, thanks for that. We'll accept that score and next print, please. Anna, are you okay there at the moment? Do you want a break or you're on? Okay, thanks. Thank you, judges. The print score's 76. And David, perhaps a comment from you, I think, so you're ready to go.
Beautiful setting. There's a couple of just really simple things that the photographer could just change. One would be to place them in the centre of that beautiful arch in that branch in the background, and it would just frame them perfectly. And the second is, hide the flash behind them and pull it further back so that it's not that really strong uplit sort of look on their faces.
Thanks for that. Yep. Okay, let's have the next print, please. Thank you, judges. Print scores 75. Score range of 74 to 76, so very consistent scoring there. Quick comment from David. Thank you.
I love the texture of the veil flowing out. I think it's fantastic. I like the overall landscape and scene. I think, again, going back to something Anna said before about connection, a little bit of connection between them would be great, and I'd probably just try and darken the sky a bit and lighten up the groom a bit.
Thanks, David. Okay. Can we have the next print, please? Thank you, guys. That scores 80, a silver award. Good to see. Yep. Thank you, Anna. You can say something.
There is a beautiful little moment happening here with the bride and groom and the dog. I think really just there's some highlights that need to be brought down. The roof, the guy in the white, the two guys in the white on the right-hand side and the girl on the left-hand side, just brought down a little bit because we're just bouncing all over the place. And it's just the glorious moment gets lost a little bit when you're bouncing around to the other highlights.
Thank you, Anna. So we'll accept that score. Anna, can you go and do something with Robin, please? And Annie's coming to replace you now. We'll just have that quick judge change. So for those of you who are listening in here and live stream, we have judge changes for a number of reasons. There may be a conflict with print that's coming up, and in this particular case, Anna has to go off and do some judging with the PPY categories. So that's why we change judges, and judges need a break as well. It's hard work being there for a long time, so we try and keep them fresh. Thanks. Could we have the next print, please? No, you can. Nathan, could you stand in for this one for David, please? Annie, just stand by for a minute, please. Thanks, Annie. I've made that change. That's okay. Thank you, judges. Another silver award at 81. Great work. Print scoring range of 79 to 82. Annie, you scored this at 79. Can you see some room for improvement?
Yeah, I felt like the emotion was really strong, and the main part of that in the top right-hand corner. And then because that's cropped the way it is, which is an interesting crop, I'm then drawn to the hands. But because his hand was unsharp, I found that distracting, and then also the reflection in the back I found distracting. So that's where I sat on the fence at 79.
Okay, thanks for those comments. Can we have the next print, please? Thanks, Nathan. scored 76. Thank you. Annie, you're sitting on 81. You can challenge this. I'll accept your challenge. The scoring range 75, 74, 77, 81 and 71 for an average of 76. Let's hear your comments, please.
Yeah, I rewarded the bravery and the uniqueness of the photographer in this image, in this category. Something you don't expect to see every day in a wedding category, and that's where I got into, brought it into the silver range.
Okay, thanks for that. Aries, let's hear from you, please. You scored this at 74.
Yeah. If you're going to use off-camera flash to freeze the motion in long exposure, probably place the subject somewhere she's comfortable and she doesn't have to move. That way she's crispy sharp, and get rid of the magenta and the blue cast on her dress because that's destructive as well.
Okay, thank you. Chris, you had this at 71 as well. Perhaps you can make a comment there, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great photo of the Milky Way for sure. I love that, but unfortunately, the bride is just a mess to me. It's blurry and there's color casts, and I think it just kind of missed the mark as far as the wedding goes.
Okay, thanks. Annie, you could sum up, please.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm on my own here, but I do believe in my score, and I believe that the movement in the bride is part of that. That works really well with the image, with the mirroring of the Milky Way, and also some of those colour casts there are working as well to tie back into that. It's a little bit experimental, but I love that about it.
Okay, thanks for that. So judges, can we rescore this, please? Currently sits at 76. Annie, your score is 81 and stays there. Let's see what we come up with. Thank you, judges. Print scores 77. Good, solid professional practice. Could we have the next print, please? Thank you, judges. We have a print score of 77 here. Aries, perhaps you could comment on this. You've scored this at 75.
Nice pastel color. I quite like how the bouquet is corresponding with the greeny, the foliage in the background. Probably a 16:9 crop, tighter crop. Crop of the background in the app would help. Also, try to improve the posing a bit, because the bride is interacting with the bridesmaid on the far left, and all the rest 3 bridesmaids is just looking to some other, I don't know, iPhone or mobile phones, not participating in this photo at all.
Thanks for those comments. That's great. Thanks for those comments. Let's accept that print score and have the next print, please. Thanks, judges. Print scores 73. A quick comment from who's on 74? David, you're on 74. Could you give me a comment that might help the photographer, please?
I think the reflection probably hasn't helped with creases over the groom's face and things like that. I wonder whether actually, either seeing more of the couple or in fact the couple and not the reflection might have been actually stronger.
Okay, thanks very much. We'll accept that score. Could we have a blank screen, please? Thank you. So thank you very much, judges, print handlers, and assistants here. We've finished the wedding category. Thank you for thank you for helping us get through that on time. We were running a bit late. I think that's really good. Some of you may need to stay around to do some PPY stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not organising that. So Robin will come and get you if you need to. Thanks again for doing that today. Thank you.